everyone, welcome to the QuesterMage and welcome back to another No Man's Sky video. In today's video, I want to talk about expeditions. More specifically, I want to talk about the expeditions we've never had access to and how I would like these to be made available for us all to enjoy on Nintendo Switch. So sit back, relax, click like, subscribe, and hopefully enjoy. Here we go. So to start off with, having No Man's Sky on the Nintendo Switch is amazing. I still cannot believe that this game is actually running on a handheld hybrid console. Over the last few years, fans have had access to expeditions. If you don't know what expeditions are, think of them as a free time-locked event which sees the player needing to complete a certain amount of missions to obtain quite a few rewards. These expeditions are a few times a year and tend to last around 6 weeks each. When No Man's Sky launched on the Nintendo Switch, I think the game already had 7 expeditions? ? Which brings me to today's video. I think this poses a problem for Nintendo Switch players and new players on other platforms too. But for this video, specifically Nintendo Switch players, as we've never had the opportunity to get any of these rewards. We cannot access any of these items as we did not get the chance to earn them in the first place through their respective expeditions, and the game wasn't even available on our system at that time. We can also see the rewards, except for the cloaks, at the Quicksilver Merchant, but there's no current way to earn any of these. So I thought to myself, instead of just making old expeditions available temporarily, which Hello Games does do now and again on other platforms, why not just weave these into the game's single player as side content? This is a topic that I spoke a little bit about in my last video about the Interceptor update. In future updates, there's a chance that brand new players to the game don't know all the content that's already held within it. And with expeditions, we literally have a visual reminder of rewards we have never had the opportunity to get. As I've said before, I've played No Man's Sky for a long time, but I usually played it on Windows. So I have some of those rewards, but a brand new player is just seeing a list of things that they cannot have. So when I say weave it into the single player, how would this really work, at least in my mind? I think it will be something like the player would warp into a system and have a 1 in 100 chance to start an expedition. Why not have a random chance of a player activating an expedition in single player? We would get an expedition quest as soon as we warp into the system. This communication would inform the player that an expedition quest is now available. The player would then have a choice to add 1 expedition to their mission log, which would stop any other expedition quests until this one is completed. And then the 1 in 100 chance would re-roll. If need be, I guess the player would have to connect to online servers and activate a random expedition, but preferably this would be all offline, as we are talking about a console in the Nintendo Switch that is a handheld system which doesn't have online on the go. I do think this would be a good way of doing it, as this would allow any player on any platform a chance to randomly encounter an expedition, which they've potentially never had a chance to even complete, thus allowing all players a chance to unlock rewards which would otherwise be locked to them, and which also seem to be in the game, just unobtainable. So what would happen if the player has already done all the expeditions? Well, to me, if the player has already completed all the expeditions, then the player would be rewarded by being given an extra random reroll for a living ship egg or a companion egg, 10,000 nanites, 1,000,000 units, 10 repair units, that sort of thing. I think this would be an elegant way to reward all players with the inclusion of expedition quests into the game, especially with the Interceptor update, which I mentioned earlier, coming out just now. You can give the player one of those beacons to find a new ship on one of those Sentinel planets. So content which has already been made could be added for more gameplay. Players who haven't had a chance could now unlock items that only other players could. Players who have completed all expeditions would also get rewarded. I think this way it would try to keep everyone happy and unlock a lot of content to players that don't currently have access to it. Now lastly, the expeditions are great. I don't want those to go away. I have really enjoyed playing these as it keeps us coming back to the game, and they are after all free. But I do feel that the Nintendo Switch players specifically should have the opportunity to collect these rewards when other players have had the chance to do so. So what do you think of this idea? Do you like the overall idea of expeditions being added to the single player content? Again, this idea came to me because I predominantly play my Nintendo Switch with flight mode on. I don't have it connected to the internet unless I want to do something online. So please let me know down in the comments, what do you think? I am interested in knowing. But unfortunately, that's going to do it for today's episode. Thank you very much again for watching. If you like what I do here, please click that like button down below. If you want to see more, please click that subscribe button, as that is the only way this channel can grow. Now, I hope you liked this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. And until then, thanks again.